Yeah, man. How you doing, brother? You okay?
Good man. Good man. I'm excited to do this, man. How you been, man? How's things with you, man?
Yeah, I lost some hair, so I also did letting go myself. But it's like,
It looks good, man. Honestly, it's how you feel about it, man. If you feel good in it, then that's what it is, you know?
yeah, for sure. I unfortunately broke my leg or whatnot, but then like I don't know, it got me into different things too. Like I read more of The Power of Now, stuff like that. I'm halfway in the book itself. I didn't
Yeah,
fully finish it to be honest, but yeah, you just
yeah,
see things different too. I did like an audit that free tour too, where like okay, I wanted to get more calm, more focused.
yeah.
So I basically got that also.
Yeah, no, it's important to calm the mind. Like this is in the Bible too. Look at all the different spiritual scriptures, right? I'm not like one form, but you can learn it from everything, from Buddha, whatever, any philosophy. But this is in the Bible. Like when your mind's crazy, it's like an ocean, right? All you have to say is like peace, be still. And that's like calming the oceans of your mind. Because sometimes when our mind gets chaotic, it's like a crazy ocean. So I just try to remind myself that. And I listen to my body because we're a multidimensional being, right? So when I feel misaligned, like my energy is just like unfocused and not still, then I remembered it's like, oh, okay, I need to calm the storm and just recenter myself. So I think the power of now has concepts of that, like how to like bring yourself centered and calm, because sometimes when we're not centered and calm, if we don't have the self awareness to know that we're like our ocean is like going crazy, you can be on autopilot and the driver is chaos.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's good that
Yeah,
you looked into that.
kind of like disconnect yourself from like your own mind and just say like, oh yeah, just now I have to look from outside like what's going on. How can I disconnect and like connect more to like the current moment, basically. Yeah, that's good, man. You got some notes up there. Or no? You came prepared, or
Yeah, man. Yeah. Cool. All right, we're good now.
yeah.
Thanks, man. Let's move about the.
Yeah, we obviously already started a little bit. There was already like a subject around it, like obviously you're doing it around the book. But maybe if you can also introduce
Mhm.
yourself a little bit, just for like the video. And then you have your personal Instagram, or at least that's where we follow each other. Yep, you
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
turn that into also doing something for coaching in the future, I think, or at least you speak your mind on your own profile, which
definitely.
is amazing. Yeah. So if you have any social
That's the goal.
medias around this, or I don't know, a TikTok or YouTube, anything you have, you can also do that. Like, how long have you been self-improving yourself, or kind of been on this journey of like, I want to learn more, whatever it is. Like, when did you start reading books? When did you kind of start? It's just like in the loosest way possible. Something is missing, you can always like, if you think about it later in the interview, you can always add it. Also, create a normal chill vibe, just two people talking.
My name is Luis Castillo. I've been on a self-development journey. Been on it for a few years. I want to say since I was 25, I picked up my first book. I was selling stuff that wasn't legal, so I'm not gonna get into that. But I had an epiphany when some people get their midlife crisis in 30. I got it at age 25. I didn't. I looked at myself in the mirror and I'm like, I don't like who I am, right? So then I just and I barely knew how to read because I just got enough good grades to pass school, but I hated reading. But I remember I picked up my first book. It was a Napoleon Hill book, Laws of Success, I believe. And I just read that, and then I just went down a rabbit hole of a bunch of books, from Robert Greene's books to like self development. I read Richard Branson's book, Losing My Virginity. That was very inspiring because he had dyslexia, and then he found a way to make it work. And yeah, I spent a whole year in the library just reading from age 25 to 26. And I'm 36 now. That's when the seeds were planted. And yeah, just been on a journey of self improvement, learning. I like the fact that I have an addictive personality. So I used to have bad habits, but I noticed that I could take that same mentality and apply it to the positive. So what got me addicted to self development, the fact that I can improve. Like every day, every week, I can become an updated version of myself, and that process alone got me so addictive. And seeing other people along the path at a way higher, at a different level, or maybe they're developed in different areas. We're all developing different things. That just became very inspirational, and then I just got around more people self-developing, and it's a very powerful feeling. Napoleon Hill talks about it, the mastermind principle. So when you're around a lot of people, you learn, right? So that was my journey into self development. And my Instagram is King Luis Castillo. That's all I have right now, but I'm working on building my YouTube, you know, because they say that you learn by teaching. So there's a lot of concepts I want to elaborate in long format videos. So I want to get a whiteboard and just, you know, break things down. So that's my goal with the YouTube, but it's not up now right now. Just King Luis Castillo. And I'll post all my other links there once I have all the other channels set up.
That's cool, man. Yeah, you're definitely on your journey where like you're probably really happy where you are now compared to 5 or 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And then like, all the rest is gonna come. Like people got your Instagram now, and then like obviously, once you get the YouTube and everything else, then they can follow you. There's always like you're always inside the process, but you also left the process behind you already. So like, yeah, that's like the cool part about the topic in this video too. Like the topic is like letting go, and then also the power of now, which like in many cases is also just about letting go. And then just yeah, what I hear as well, like he had like one, yeah, kind of like a moment that happened, which like the first awakening, and then many more to come. I feel like so like yeah, you kind of go to stages as well. Yeah, where, like oh, the first time you wake up, second time, and then just it's more layers. They just add to it basically. Yeah, that's cool, man. Yes, and what was like the last time that you read The Power and Now, or like maybe the first time that you finished reading it? Was that a long time ago, or maybe this year or last year? Or
It's been a while. It's a book that I read it once and I listened to the audio.
Mhm.
But I do keep it at work in my locker, so I read it from time to time. But the thing about me, it's hard to like read one book at a time. I don't know, just the way my brain works, I have to be reading 4 or 5 books simultaneously. One thing pertaining to the power of now, one thing that just stuck out with me. I don't know if it was me reading it recently or a while ago, but it stuck out about me when Eckhart Tolle talks about like sometimes we torture ourselves in our own mind. We have those inner voices that self-inflicted, you know, and when you're aware that you're doing that, you can be present. And when you're present, you don't have the anxiety of the future or you're not worried about the past. And the present moment is really where you're going to hit that tranquility moment. So that's one thing I got from Eckhart Tolle. It's just like, you know, we sometimes torment ourselves with our own thoughts, and being present can kind of silence those thoughts. And then
yeah,
you're just in that moment.
we self-create it, and then on top of that, we also try to self-medicate it. Like the medicating part is like kind of bullshit, where like you kind of just have
Yeah,
to give it a place somewhere. Like, okay, like it doesn't have to be resolved fully. Like, we're
yeah,
natural, like problem solvers. Like, not every problem has to be solved. It's just like give something like a place that is like taken care of, and then just like, you know, not thinking about it anymore, finding a place to not having to think about it, yet taking the lesson, and then just you store it away, and then you keep going towards something new. Like you put like a higher purpose above anything else, and then you kind of cancel out your own mind. Where like, yeah, one of my favorite racing driver, for example, he was quite good at this too, but not in letting go. Like he found a lot of extra levels in letting go and meditation. Like Ayrton Senna probably doesn't ring a bell to you, but like he was a very famous Formula One driver. Like he was like super,
okay, okay,
how do you say it, like results based, like super hardcore, doing
okay,
good
okay.
results and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Yet in letting go, he wasn't really like that good. So for him, also doing like audits is something he could do. But then later, throughout letting go, and also well, through letting go, he could do even better audits. He talked about like an audit while he pulled his own soul basically out of his own body, and then he looked what he was
Yeah,
doing after. Like in the
yeah.
current moment, he was looking like at the past, what did I do then? And then he became way more
Yeah.
present in the car. That's just yeah, kind of whatever. If you hear this and you're not really into racing, obviously, but then like that's kind of the best thing you can do also. Like if you already gonna think about the past, then it's also like yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just take the lessons from it. And that's kind of it. And the rest is just like yeah, you have to keep moving along. Like you are not your mind. So like yeah,
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I understood that. Yeah, just be the observer of your mind and just remove yourself from how you're feeling and just observe your mind. And you're looking at it from like kind of like an astral projection type of way. And you're just, okay, this is the vibration, and you can get a better bird's eye view. Yeah, that's a good thing to do as well. I've done that before as well. Just observe myself, and I'm like, oh wow, my energy is very negative. So, and
yeah,
I don't know where I learned this from, but it's a meditation practice. When you remove yourself from your mind, you kind of visualize the energy around your body. You see it, and then you get kind of like a fire hose, and you're like watering off the negative energy, like you're visualizing that. So, those are some things that Meditation. There's different things for different people, but meditation is definitely very powerful when you remove yourself from, you don't identify with those emotions.
Yeah, like de-identify basically, like you say, like hosing yourself down. Can see yourself like being like
Yeah,
watered down to chill for a moment. That's kind of what you need to do, just chill with your mind. Like, and it's also like giving it a place too. Like I'm very much an overthinker. Maybe you are the same. Like you come across as a really like genuine guy who's like smart also. And then like it's a tendency to overthink. But like that's also like again, if you just give that a place, like that could be your power also, like the fact that he can overthink. Yet then the lesson or the road that most people want to take, but then is a bit of a blockage. Is like, okay, how do I turn it on and turn it off, or like stay in the middle of it? That's like the real power in that, for example. And like you can fully live in the moment and actually like let go. But then when you need it, you just turn it on because it's just superpowered at the end of the day. It's not like most people is like, oh, overthinking and they want to get rid of it. But the real jest, in my opinion at least, is like, okay, so they can still use it, like turning it on, turning it off. It's like you have the ability to let go, but also like use that overthinking in a good way when you do need it.
yeah, it's just about knowing yourself, right? And that's like where the inner work comes from. Because if you're not like always self auditing, compared to like it's like an airplane, right? You're flying an airplane, they have to do their standard checks. They got to check the engine, they got to make sure everything is good. Like when I was leaving Miami, I had to wait 5 hours for another plane because the plane didn't pass the safety inspection. It can be something small like a broken seatbelt, whatever. They have their procedures. I don't know, but I had to wait. But that's common, they check the plane. So I feel like sometimes we forget about to audit our mind sometimes, because sometimes we have momentum, we're doing well, but if we don't do the audits, we might not catch something in time, and then that's gonna snowball and catch us off guard. Because I've had it where I have momentum, I'm positive, and then out of nowhere, this anxiety will come. This whatever, anything that'll throw me off comes in a high volume, and I'm like, could I have caught this earlier? Maybe. So it's just like those audits of my mind and the self awareness that I do. I'm doing them daily now. I'm doing them daily because I feel like in the past I would have momentum, and then out of nowhere, some wave of negative energy or doubt or anything trying to throw me off will catch me off guard, and it's like I wasn't ready for it. So I think we have to really be aware of our mind
Hmm.
consistently. Make sure we're driving the steering wheel, we're flying the plane, or else
Yeah,
propaganda, anything else that gets implanted into our mind is going to be taking the steering wheel.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. Just like being more in tune with the experience itself. It's like with letting go also, like you can always like keep thinking, but yeah, at the end of the day, what doesn't matter? It's also like a bit of a superpower too, in my opinion, where like you can just like make yourself sit in that moment of like letting go and just like
Mhm.
enjoying the now. Like anything can happen there. Like people can complain and whatever. Like then your frame is like so strong that like I'm just enjoying whatever's going on. Funny how I say that while then have like a whole Hawaiian background, but like that's kind of what you should be
That's nice,
like
man.
you're just on a vacation no matter
Yeah,
what. Like that's like the general gist of it.
yeah,
So like yeah, just letting go, but like, oh yeah, I'm just enjoying the palm trees. Like I sometimes do this too with people that might go a little bit too far, and just I still respect them saying something like this might be, I don't know, I'm in line waiting at the register to buy something in the store, for example. Somebody is talking to me and it's
yeah.
actually going fine, but then later on the conversation shifts into complaining. And then I like what I like is like trying to hear everything but also tuning out. So that's kind of letting go too, where it's like just enjoying everything around me and I only hear what I want to hear. So like you just tune out everything that's not really valuable in a way. So like yeah, let me see. Actually wrote some quotes down too from the book directly.
Yeah,
You
let's talk about it.
You can be free of your mind, and whenever you have to, you can find the off button. So like it's like around the unconscious conscious part. So like yeah, that you always say like you kind of turn your brain off, so to speak. So like your brain is thinking, overthinking, and then you just go like, oh yeah, now we just need to turn it off, enjoy what's going on currently. Just instead of like the complaining or like doing too much of the audits, for example, you just let go and it's like yeah, I'm on vacation. Like people sometimes go on vacation, they even forget about that part. So
That's why I like the cold approaching and just dealing with women or maybe hanging out with friends. I don't have to be serious and logical. I can just let go, be fun, be in the moment. And it's almost like a spiritual experience, especially when you're having fun with women or just going out and approaching. You're not thinking, because I've had it before where my ego will get in the way, you take rejection personally. But then I'm like, you know what? If I remove my ego and I'm just present, I'm just focused on having fun, my RAS is not going to pick up on the negative vibe because I'm in tune with the good vibes. And I'm only seeing who's going to connect with the good vibes, right? So that's one thing I've learned to enjoy it. That's what made me enjoy it, like the turning off the mind. Because before I would always have my mind on, and then I would go into social interactions, and I wouldn't get the most out of it. So I think that's why social interactions are very powerful. Because at least from what I've my own experience, I'm able to turn off my mind. I'm not logical. I'm the fun version of me, right? And it's just like I can stay there, and it's very spiritual.
Yeah, your results will get better too, because like you're more congruent, like you're just out there for one thing. You're not like per se in a taker's mindset where like, oh, you could be talking to anybody everywhere, and it's not you
Mhm.
not per se trying to get anything. Just like, oh, enjoying the moment, having a conversation for having the actual conversation, not having the conversation to always be swapping Instagrams or always be, doing a new business deal or always like taking it all the way with a single women or whatever, or like always pushing the conversation in a certain area. And many times people will see like how free you are. They actually want like a piece of the cake also, just like they might
Yeah,
close
yeah,
you or like ask you for the Instagram or like want to do a business deal with yourself just because they see like, oh, this guy is loose, but like for them, it might be a bit more like, oh, this guy is like he has something I don't have. So like he display more value by simply being free, so to speak, and awake in many ways also. It's actually quite different how like they call that kind of the wise man on the mountain. So sometimes you can say something so simple, yet you just do it from like, oh, I'm not trying to get anything for anyone. I'm just trying to enjoy the moment. It's just like, yeah, our thoughts are so crazy. That's could be like so many people overthink everything and like why not enjoy the moment, for example? If that's like the simplest thing you could say, and then people are like he said something that's like the value is 10x because like nobody really talks about that anyway. So it's like, yeah, just like the fact that somebody is willing to say it basically and just does it in a free way without trying to get anything from anybody. That in itself has a lot of power, in my opinion. So yeah.
yeah. That's the power of letting go, man. You just let go, and you're just in the moment. It's so powerful, just to tap into that frequency.
Also with the complaining part was like one situation I for example remember like a few years back I still worked in the kitchen like a normal 9 to 5. And there's like a
Okay.
chef there. He always said this one thing where like I could really tell by what he said later on is just like yeah, it's kind of pointless in a way. So like also like you say, letting go of things that don't matter. Like he said, like with the complaining part, people always are so quickly to judge somebody else and they point at somebody else. But he said then also like every time you point at somebody else, this this camera,
Mhm.
um, every time you point at somebody else, there's like more fingers, yeah, pointing at yourself. Like obviously,
Oh, I
so
like
like
that. I
three
like that. I
fingers
like that. I
basically
like that.
point at yourself, one towards the other person. So like it kind of becomes
I like
invaluable.
that.
Like let's say uh, somebody doesn't like that you were very precise with something in work or in a relationship or whatever. Like it's a really big chance that they will do something themselves also in that sense, or have done. So like it kind of becomes pointless. Obviously it's good to point out a few things, but then like, okay, why not just enjoy life? Like you probably do some things, I do some things. Let's just cancel it out, don't talk about it, and we save a half hour. Just like some things, yeah, they get so invaluable. Like especially the complaining part, even though it's good doing the audit. And if you make content like we do, for example, then yeah, it becomes valuable because we kind of explain like certain things and situations throughout speech and video. So it's like it's actually valuable for the people. When normal life, we don't per se go around complaining about it a lot. It's like we more so just live what we want to live, and then just you become so efficient, and yeah, you can learn more and read more books also. So yeah,
I agree. They even say this in the Bible, like if you haven't sinned, cast the first stone, right? Nobody can do that because we're all imperfect. And it's true. I've learned to just have empathy with people, just to realize that they're on different parts of their journey. And there's like an example. I looked at a picture of myself 5 or 6 years ago because I got a new phone. So I was looking at old pictures from my old phone, and I looked at it. I'm like, I no longer identify with this person. It felt weird. Like I felt the vibe through the picture, and I'm like, because I used to smoke a lot of weed. Nothing against it, just the way my brain works. It's like it's better if I don't smoke it, right? So I haven't smoked. I drink socially, but very little. Maybe like one drink, and that's it. I'm not overdoing it because I don't like it. But regardless, I just I realized that as we evolve, we're growing. So my thing is that when someone's in a negative space, I don't take it personally. I'm just like I have kind of like optimism and a bit of empathy. I'm just like, you know what? I hope that they're on their path and they eventually get out of this vibration. But while they're in that vibration, I'm just gonna stay away from it because I'm protecting my energy. I'm protecting my peace. But I don't hate them for it. I just realize that people are on different parts of their journey. And yeah, if someone's being rude to me, I just don't take it personally. I'm just like, you know what? If they love themselves, they wouldn't be throwing negative energy at me. But they don't love themselves. That's why they're throwing negative energy at me. So I don't take it personally. I just I stay away from it as much as I can. I remove myself from the situation and I just have empathy and hope that eventually they turn the tables on their own accord, but I'm not going to be around them while they have that energy. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's
true.
because you're right. People, we're all imperfect. We all have things we need to work on. There's been a lot of things I've worked on,
Yeah, that's true.
and I'm continuing to work on.
Like realizing that at one point you were probably doing something similar in the past also. So like, the best thing you can do in a
Yeah,
situation is like kind of like throw them a ball or something and see if it sticks. Like you can always like what I try to do is say
exactly.
something or like maybe they'll catch on or whatever. And then like I had it too, where like people would say something in the past and it didn't really stick, but I kept it with me in my mind, for example. And then later on it hit again or it hit for the first time. So like one saying I once had so in the work was like if you don't change, nothing changes. Once you change, everything changes. In a big way, while we talk about the whole letting go and stuff, that's also kind of like that. Like if you don't let go of certain situations, nothing is gonna change. So you can keep complaining about, but like at a certain point, you just have to let go. There's almost you can't really go around it, or you just keep going down, down, and down, like the downward spiral that you create. So like, and obviously there's also the upward spiral. Like at a certain point, you have to let go. This obviously most people kind of have to have a system or an excuse to actually let go, which is kind of bullshit. But like, they have to have like a different translation. I find so like, and even for myself, I also notice it for myself. Sometimes I just need a certain excuse, but then being at the cause, not at the effect, and you just try to create that yourself. So like, now, for example, I broke my foot. I could say like, oh, that caused me to read a book, but like I could also have not done it. So like I make the fact that I broke my foot like the best thing ever. Like now it's like I broke my foot. Now it's like time to read. Now it's time to. I didn't even have social media around coaching either. I made that after we met at the free tour also, for example. So like now that's just I'm making that an excuse. So it's definitely a little bit extra by unfortunately breaking my foot, but it's also the other 80% is me myself. And then also being able to coach that to other people. Just like you can self-generate that own excuse. And then as you get further along, it's also like you don't per se need that excuse anymore. Then you, out of nothing, out of thin air, you can say like, oh, now it just needs to be done. This is the pain if I don't do it, and this is like the reward if I do it. And you kind of like you have that analogy, as I keep fucking up my English there. The analogy of
Yeah,
like the stick and the stick and
yeah,
the
yeah.
carrot. So like on one end it's like hurting you, and on the other end it's like actually rewarding you with the carrot, for example. So it's like you keep moving along basically. So like that's also part of letting go. What I said with like, if nothing changes, nothing will change. If you just change, then yeah, everything is gonna change. But that was also one of those quotes where like it hit then, but then later on you get you get more of the same levels. But like that's just one quote, that I once remembered, and like he put on multiple layers later on. It's just like all of a sudden it's like, you kind of become present, and in the moment it's like, oh wow, I remember this quote for so many years ago. This is another time to implement it, for example. So like, yeah, that's just building those stepping stones, those bricks basically, which, will benefit you along your whole life. But you have to be able to like bring it up out of your mind again. So that's the one position where like the past actually does come in handy, Like take the lessons from the past, yet be able to live in the present, but also letting go, for example. Yeah.
Adding to your point, sometimes when you revisit something, it has a different level of meaning to it because your consciousness is at a higher level. So you're seeing it at a deeper meaning. So sometimes you can read the book again, you can read the same quote, you can look at your journal. Maybe you wrote something insightful at the time that meant something to you, but it means more now because you're reading it at a higher level of consciousness. Because
Hmm.
it's like it's almost like your eyes and vision and soul are able to see deeper into whatever you're trying to interpret from the message or meaning at a higher level because more of yourself is awakened, more of yourself is unlocked, right? Because when it's not as unlocked, you don't see it as clearly. So that's the beauty about developing is that the more you develop, the more you get to see things on a deeper level that maybe people can't see it as deep because they're not there yet. They're not evolved consciously yet to grasp the full meaning of whatever you're trying to interpret. So it's a beautiful thing.
Hmm. Yeah. That what you just said, for example, like very much reminds me of that quote where like when the student is ready, the teacher appears. It's like you had
Yeah.
something where you first start doing your self-development, and I had something
Mm.
similar too, for example. And then like, that's where like you either began to read the books or reach out to the teacher. Like we obviously met at a free tour from Owen Cook, for example. Like he's very into
Wow.
Eckhart Tolle also. And that's kind of one of the reasons I started the Power of Now, because like he's practically selling that book, to be honest. So like, yeah, he's very fond of Eckhart Tolle, for example. So that's a cool part also. And then like somebody talks about it that much and he's very successful, there must be something of value in that. So like, that's also very much like I, for example, started my self development journey through a breakup, and then I was like, oh yeah, you go look up on internet various things, and that turns into like, learning about pickup, and then learning about like self development, being more aware, being more present, letting go, everything else for the last, well, I would say almost 10 years, I believe. Yeah. So just like, yeah, there's always like a certain moment where like all of a sudden, like you say, you pick up more of it. So like even what I learned in the beginning, I sometimes think back about it, and then like there's extra levels to it basically. It's just quite amazing in itself also. Like just the fact like you recycle the same, and now all of a sudden you see the same text, but you're reading in between the rules, just as you said yourself also. Yeah. Cool.
Not saying what I learned about conversation is just kind it's like a rhythm. It's kind of like if you I do boxing, right? It's kind of like if you're sparring or if you're training or if you're like dancing, you're kind of just going off the rhythm of where it's going, right? So like what I've learned studying conversations and all that stuff, it's just you want to listen and then you want to also go with the rhythm of the conversation so there's a flow to it, right? Because sometimes there might be some things I want to talk about but I'm like, okay, is it going to flow with the conversation, right? Because
Yeah.
if it doesn't flow then ideas can't bounce back off each other organically and it's not going to sound as great because it's going to be like it's coming from the right angle, it's coming from the left angle. So whenever I come research,
Like
even if it's
boxing.
I'm cold approaching someone, even if it's a random person or if I'm networking and talking, I'm always trying to flow to see like, okay, where can we flow? And if we're able to flow well, then I know there's a good connection there.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I do.
Kind of like boxing, you throw a left, throw a right, see what sticks. In a
Yeah,
friendly way
yeah,
then,
yeah,
but like, yeah, like subject wise, and
yeah,
yeah, obviously. Because like we don't know
yeah.
each other into depth either. So like even for that, like
Exactly.
it's a very good interview in my opinion. So like, yeah, cool, man.
Appreciate it, man. I appreciate it likewise. I like the finger thing, man. That was very, it made sense. So I didn't, like you point one, you got more pointing at each other. So that's going to stick with me, right? And I'm going to rewatch this. There's definitely a lot of good information here. So I appreciate doing it, man. So yeah, man.
Ah, cool,
It's been
man.
a pleasure.
Yeah, keep busy. Uh, maybe you can stay in contact a little bit here and there, but I'd say like keep
Yeah.
being busy on your journey. I'm doing the same, so